If you've been practicing guitar without a plan, this video is for you. It can be hard to know what to play and for how long, but just copy this 3-step system that I've been using with students for over 20 years, and you can develop your own personalized practice routine so that you can stop wasting time, stop playing aimlessly, and stop getting burnt out. Your skill level, your schedule, your practice. So when you sit down to play, however much time you have, we're going to divide it into 3 buckets: warm-up, workout, wrap up. Warm-up follows a very particular trajectory, and it's to make sure that everything that comes after feels a lot easier. Workout is the main meat of what you're doing. It's actually the material you're trying to get done throughout the day, and this is the part where you can really manipulate it to fit however much time you happen to have. And then wrap up is the section that's going to help to make sure that you don't get burnt out and you actually want to come back and do it again tomorrow. First, warm-up. The warm-up section should take about 10 to 20% of your total practice time. You don't really need to be too precise about it. And it's going to grow in difficulty and intensity, and it's going to go from general things to things that are specific to what you're working on right now. The first thing when you pick up your guitar should be to re-meet your instrument. You want to start by playing some fundamental things that are incredibly easy, almost painfully easy to play. This could be just making sure that your left hand is playing with the minimal amount of pressure that it needs to on a couple adjacent frets. It could mean hitting dead strings with your right hand and just practicing your aim to make sure you hit in the same spot, that you can aim your strings properly when you're string skipping. It's about doing something really, really easy. If you've ever played a sport, you've probably experienced this in a practice, right? You might start by stretching and just warming up all of your muscle groups. You might run around the arena a little bit. If you're playing basketball, you might start dribbling. The point is, we haven't applied anything yet. We haven't done anything new. But these are all skills, these are all motions that you're going to need to be able to do without thinking when you're actually doing the work. See, if you just hop right into the meat of the stuff that you're trying to work on, you're going to have to spend some of your mental and physical energy kind of reminding your body how to do the simple stuff. So we want to start that at the very beginning and just slowly remind the hands what they're supposed to do, so that by the time we get to the actual work, it's happening on autopilot. Personally, if I have the time, I like to pick one simple left hand exercise, one simple right hand exercise, and then something that's going to work on coordinating those two together. That's kind of the basis of all technique. But if you're really rushed and you don't have time to do all of those, just pick the one that's going to be most relevant to the thing that you're about to play. And that, I think, is a really important idea, that a lot of people just do general warm-ups. I always play this scale. I always do this exercise. That's okay. You'll get to know those exercises really well. But I think it's much more fruitful to think about the main thing you're going to play. If your job today is to work on a solo that is very scale-based, you might want to be doing scale-related things through your whole warm-up. Same thing, if you're learning a difficult new finger-picking pattern, make an emphasis on warming up your fingers. The warm-up should not be its own unrelated thing. It should start with those basic skills and get more and more pointed to the actual task at hand. So the second part of our warm-up is usually going to be to choose some kind of fundamental exercise, like a scale, like an arpeggio, something along those lines. So it's not just playing a single note with simple fingers anymore. It might actually be putting it together in a larger bit, but it's still going to be something that actually relates to the music you're going to play. If you're working on chord changes, take 1 or 2 specific changes and just practice playing chord, strum, chord. Not the whole strumming pattern, just moving one chord to another to get your hands used to it. If you're doing a finger picking pattern, you might try the right hand pattern with no left hand so that you're just focusing on the right hand. If you're not sure what to do for a warm-up, think about the thing you actually want to work on later and just think, what would be the simplest version of this that I could play? Make that your warm-up. And you're going to find out just how helpful that warm-up was when you enter the workout phase. This is the largest part of your practice routine, usually around 60, 70%, maybe even a little bit more. The numbers don't exactly matter. It's more than half, and it's not the whole thing. That's the idea. The workout phase is about solving the particular problem in your song you have right now. And if you're just playing through something start to finish, you're probably doing it wrong. Sorry. Playing something start to finish is a great way to test yourself, but when you're still learning it, the key is to zoom in. If you're making a mistake, there's usually one note or one movement, one seriously tiny moment that is causing that mistake. And you want to keep zooming in until you've found that exact problem spot. Then you want to slow it down, you want to drill it with all the exercises that you can, and you want to get it comfortable and slowly speed it back up. The workout phase is usually about just workshopping that small part, and it becomes kind of a modular section with your time, in that if you only have 5 minutes to practice, maybe you're going to pick one simple section to work on. I might decide, you know what, this particular scale run needs to be sped up, and I have one string change, moving from the G string to the B string, that I always mess up. So I'm going to really focus on my finger placement as I go across those. That can be 5 minutes well spent. If you have an hour to practice, you might get a whole lot more done. But that doesn't necessarily mean you need to just dig really deep into one spot. You can, sometimes we need that. But it could also be that you're going to pick 4 or 5 different problem spots. Maybe a few easy ones, a couple of hard ones. But the point is, you're going to say, I have one very specific problem I'm going to fix. I'm going to fix it, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. By the way, you should have different practice goals for different kinds of pieces depending on where you are in the learning process. If you're just learning something at the very beginning versus if you are polishing something and preparing it for a performance, your workout section might look a little bit different. If you check down in the description below, I've got a link to my PDF, the 7-minute practice routine, and it's going to talk all about those different phases that you go through and how to work them efficiently into your practice. And you can also check out my Patreon, where I've got a lot more information about how to practice effectively, and you can also ask me your own questions so that I can tell you things that are going to be tailored to your exact situation. You can find a link again down in the description. Little pieces are really what's going to get you the most progress. When you're in a phase with a song where you truly have all of the little pieces really comfortable, then you can start to chain them back together, put them into larger pieces, and then you're actually playing them, you're more performing, and that's really where you're going to consider entering this last phase of your practice, which is the wrap-up. Now, the wrap-up is going to be the last 10 to 15%-ish of your playing, and the whole point of the wrap-up section is to have fun. And so what you should do here is prioritize something that you're really going to enjoy. Now, that might mean if you were working on these tiny little pieces in your workout phase, that for this wrap-up part, you're going to put them back into the larger context and actually play the whole song from start to finish. Or maybe you really like jamming to the blues, and so you're just going to improvise some solos. Maybe use a new scale that you learned, something like that. It actually doesn't matter, and this is really important. Your goal is not to play things perfectly. This is not your dress rehearsal. The way I want you to think of it is this. If the workout is actually getting something done, that's your work, the wrap-up is your play. With no work, you're not actually going to make any progress. But with no play, no fun section at the end, you're going to forget why you decided to work in the first place. You're not going to want to pick up your guitar tomorrow again. Give yourself some kind of reward and end with that in your mind. And when you're really ready to level up that workout phase where you're doing the work and trying to get more done, check out this playlist that I made. It's all of the best advice that I've learned over 20 years of teaching about how to practice effectively, how to make sure mistakes don't come back, how to make sure that you're actually learning efficiently. All the things that I would love to teach you are in this playlist. I'll see you there.